The day I found my father's spare key in a drawer, I realized I had spent years believing a story nobody had ever actually told me. I was 19, home between semesters, helping my mother clean out the apartment she planned to sell. We were sorting paperwork when I found an envelope taped beneath some manuals. Inside was a key and a photograph of me at 6, asleep against my father's shoulder. I barely remembered that version of him. My parents separated when I was 11. I lived with Mom, and Dad moved into a small rental across town. He never missed a birthday or school event, but I treated his presence like an obligation. He stood near the back and waited afterward to ask how I thought I did. At 14, I became embarrassed by him. He drove an old silver car. His clothes were always slightly too formal. He asked too many questions. When my friends were around, I pretended not to notice him waving from across a parking lot. Then Mom married Daniel. Daniel was different. He had a nice house, a newer car, and easy confidence. He never asked about homework or exams. Instead, he bought me my first laptop and told people I was going places. I liked him immediately. Without realizing it, I started comparing the two men. Every ordinary thing my father did became evidence against him. Every mistake became proof that Mom had been right to leave. When Dad invited me to spend a weekend with him before college, I said I had plans. I didn't. I went to a friend's house instead and posted pictures online. He never complained. That bothered me later. A month before I left for university, I received a package from him. Inside was a cheap wristwatch, a notebook, and a letter. He wrote that he knew I didn't need him anymore, but hoped I would keep it. He said he was sorry for the things he had gotten wrong and wished he had known how to be a better father while everything was falling apart. At the bottom, he wrote, "You don't have to forgive me. Just know I never stopped being your dad." I read it twice and put it under my mattress. The following weekend, I overheard Mom arguing with Daniel in the kitchen. They didn't know I was home. Daniel asked why she had never told me the truth. Mom said, because he would have stayed if I had told him everything. I froze. Then Daniel said, "That's exactly why you should have." I walked into the kitchen. Mom went pale. I asked what he meant. She tried to change the subject. I didn't let her. Finally, she told me Dad hadn't abandoned us. He had lost his job, fallen behind on bills, and agreed to move out temporarily because she said I needed stability. She told relatives he was unreliable because she didn't want anyone questioning her decisions. The worst part wasn't that she had lied. It was realizing how many of my own opinions had started as things she had quietly planted in my head. I called Dad that night. He answered on the second ring. I asked why he never defended himself. There was a long silence. Then he said, "Because every time I tried, I was afraid you'd think I was asking you to choose." I started crying before I could stop myself. He didn't say I was right. He didn't blame Mom. He didn't even ask what she had told me. He just said, "You were a kid. You shouldn't have had to carry any of it." I drove to his apartment the next morning. He opened the door wearing the same kind of button-down shirts I'd spent years making fun of. For a second, neither of us moved. Then I hugged him. He held me tightly, but didn't say anything dramatic. He rested his hand on the back of my head like he had been waiting for permission. Before I left, he pointed at the old silver car outside and laughed softly. "I know it's embarrassing," he said. I laughed through my tears. "No," I told him. "It really isn't." That afternoon, I asked him to take me somewhere for lunch. It was the first time I had ever made the invitation. We talked for 3 hours, and for the first time in years, I wasn't trying to decide which parent deserved my loyalty. I was just sitting across from my father, finally getting to know him.